All right, everybody. This morning to all politicians and running for president 2024 part. What are we up to? 152, 153, something in there. Just a couple odds and ends here. So, like I mentioned, that show Unearthed, America Unearthed, and how from some of the things they were showing there, it showed there'd been people from Polynesia and people from Europe who made their way over and had traded and stuff. One of the things with that show is, and like I said, you can believe this guy's theories on everything or not, or come to your own conclusions, but that show and like Ancient Aliens and stuff like that, you got to take it all with a grain of salt. And, maybe just pick up whatever useful information you can and put that with other information you have or whatever. That doesn't mean, if I mention a show or something, doesn't mean you should take that show as the gospel. One of the things I'll point out is like shows like that and Ice Road Truckers and all those reality shows, they're scripted. They got to make something with the plot to keep you watching. And so a couple episodes of the show, this guy comes across where people, once they find out it's him, they won't let him in there, and it's all a conspiracy to hide the truth stuff, which I don't doubt in some cases there are some places, but you just got to keep in mind that those shows, they got it to stay on the air, they got to have a certain viewership, so they got to make things interesting and more dramatic. So one of the other things I noticed about that show while I was watching it the other night is there was this site that they looked at in New England that they were calling like a Stonehenge of America. And so some of the things are suspicious about it, but if you take it, as being it was a real site set up, people were using it to mark the winter and summer solstices and things like that, that's fine. But I guess using Google or whatever, one of the guys there drew a line from there over to Stonehenge in England. Which, okay, that's fine. Yeah, things could match up there. But then he said, and you'll never believe this, and they kept drawing the line, and the line went to Lebanon. So they tried to make a connection with the Phoenicians of having traveled to America way back when or whatever. If they had or hadn't, I don't know. But the thing of it is I was looking at it, I was like, wait a minute. You can't draw a straight line from New England to England to Stonehenge, and then that line staying straight go to Lebanon, can you? I mean, Lebanon's, further south than England, isn't it? I don't know. So I looked at I saw a thing that had a map on it of the Earth, and it seemed to have the longitude and latitude lines on it. I don't know if it was all correct. It was just one of them. You see them at truck stops. They got these little laminated things, like information. They sell for about $5 a piece. Everything from herbal remedies to map of the United States or the Earth or things about the solar system stuff. So anyhow, and part of the reason I'm saying this because my son all the time, I'll see something, I'll bring it up on YouTube, and before he lets me finish what I'm getting into, he'll be like, "Oh, you can't believe everything." It's like, I don't believe everything I see on YouTube. I don't believe everything I see on the evening news either, or that the government tells me. But you can get information about things that you might never have known about, like even that Ancient Alien show or looking in Flat Earth. So anyway, when they said that and everything on the show, I was like, you can't, that don't go to Lebanon. Lebanon's in the Mediterranean. And, So I don't know. Maybe I got to look at a globe. I don't, unless, I'm mistaken. And I don't know why the show would let that go if it wasn't true. So, but, maybe that's why, maybe people really don't let this guy on their property to look at stuff because they know he's a con artist of some kind. I don't know. But, excuse me, I'm eating some lovely convenience store cheese pizza. So I wanted to clear that up, before people go, oh, he fell for that shit. He watches that show or something. I look at a lot of different things. Pique my curiosity. Doesn't necessarily I believe everything I look at. And, so coming to my next thing, so I mentioned flat earth and stuff and everything, and that they do have some things that'll make you raise your eyebrow. And I'll tie this in here. So one of the things they show, and I don't know if it's exact or somebody just made it up and said it was the ancient Hebrew concept of the earth and the heavens. But if you look it up, ancient Hebrew flat earth map or drawing or whatever, it'll show you like a dome, like a snow globe almost. And the things listed below the earth and above and stuff like that. Well, watching one of the Hindu things the other day, and like I said, I don't know if the guy was a true Hindu scholar or whatever, but he was showing their cosmology of the earth and the heavens. Now, some of that matches what is in the book of Revelations. And you hear about the host of heavens and stuff like that. And then if you read the book of Enoch, there's even more information in there about things in the heavens that we can't see. Or maybe it's a matter of being pure enough to see. I don't know. But anyhow, you look at those two things, and they're the ancient Hebrew, according to what the things I picked up off Flat Earth, what that looks like, and what the Hindu stuff says. Now, we've been told, since we're kids, the Earth is a globe and everything, and you got to believe science, because like in the Baha'i faith, there's they teach that science and religion have to agree. So I can remember when I was a kid, after I learned about dinosaurs and all the different ages of quote unquote evolution, if hearing some preacher was getting roasted for I don't know if it might have been on the news, or I might have even just saw the show or heard it. He was saying, dinosaurs and all that stuff that they teach and all that was all just Satan created all that and stuff and everything. It's like, man, even as a kid, I was like, that guy's nuts. So, but anyhow, because in Western Christianity, like evangelical circles and everything, they only try and tell you the earth is 6,000 or 7,000 years old, maybe 10,000 years old. And, just science, I believe has proved. I don't believe in the Big Bang the way they say it happened, but as far as the age of the earth, I know they don't know the exact age and they're guessing on a lot of things, but I think, they're pretty close. It's been around a while. So I think it's kind of like a double-edged sword, that there's some things that religion has right that science needs to adjust to, and I think there's things that science has right that religion needs to adjust to. Because saying that science and religion have to agree, if science is getting something wrong, then, what do you do then? So, and going with the shape of the earth and everything being in a globe, well, now you even see like, that Tyson guy and other people talking about the Earth is more like an egg, an ophoid, what is it called? Ophoid spheroid, something like that. Which there are, from Islam teachings, that's like the shape of a ostrich egg or something like that. So, and that being in my head, have learned that, then when I was watching the Hindu stuff, they showed the statue of this deity was holding what was supposed to be the Earth, and instead of being on its axis the way it is that we're taught, it's like if you were to think of north and south as up and down, instead of that, the north is to the east and south is to the west, and west is north. So it shows it in a different orientation, but it shows it in a spheroid or an egg shape looking Earth. So, like I said, we can learn a lot from each other if we took the time to look, and there's a lot of interesting people who say, oh, religion, that's boring, this. It's not. There's a lot of stuff you can learn. So, the thing that gets me is every picture we've ever been shown of the Earth that's supposed to have been taken from space doesn't show an egg-shaped Earth. They show us a perfectly round blue marble. So this brings me to science and religion agreeing. If they've been showing us these pictures of the, and they admit these pictures are all CGI and everything, or most of the ones NASA has anyhow. Are we, being shown something they just made up, that they didn't really get out there to take pictures? I mean, that's why I say you got to question stuff. And when you gather information from different things, even if you don't, whatever they're selling or trying to push, if you don't buy into that, you can pick up information all over the place. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out if anybody wanted to look into it. And the cosmology of what the Hindu teach about the Earth. Now they have. Like I said, there was one I watched who showed kind of a flat deal, and then there was ones who showed more, like I'm talking about, like the flat Earth people show the ancient Hebrew ones, which, I don't know if that's a true ancient Hebrew teaching or not. But other than that, I wanted to point out that in the Quran, it lists different religious faiths, and it says, all those who do good works of those peoples have nothing to fear from their Lord, which nicks the whole convert or die thing. And it also says that places of worship, churches, synagogues, mosques, temples, are off limits for violence. Any place that the name of God is praised, a place of worship, is off limits for violence. And you can see a little while back when Antifa and BLM were in Washington, D.C., they tried to burn that church down. So clearly you're dealing with irrational people. Now, even though there are a lot of fault I find with a lot of these TV preachers and evangelicals who scream and yell and talk about war and defame other religions and stuff, I would never suggest, violence or anything like that. However, clearly churches and synagogues and mosques and other places are, like the Quran says, to worship God. So if you're in one of these places, doesn't matter what faith you are, and all they do is bash other people and grandstand. Think about going to another type of church or mosque or synagogue, because you go to that place of worship to give thanks to God, to praise God. And the Gospels are clear too, about not destroying another's faith, and about to watch your tongue and the way you talk, and all these things. So, if you go to one of these places and all they can do is rail against everybody else and everything under the sun, and you're not doing very much praising of God, think about going to another place. Other than reading the Quran, what I found attractive about Islam was just prayer. You see, there are just as many. You go on YouTube, you'll see just as many scholars and stuff, and people hawking books and things and everything like that. But one of the things that attracted me was, it's just a place to go and pray. That's the way it should be. And so, and I know there's people out there, this guy keeps talking about Islam and the Quran and all this and everything. And like I said, and maybe it's the wrong way to put it. I used to be Christian. I used to believe just exactly like a lot of you people do. And I guess it's wrong to say used to be Christian or, converted. In Islam, it's actually taught reverted. But Islam does not deny Jesus as the Messiah. It does not deny the Gospels. It does not deny that Jesus was a messenger of Almighty God. It does not deny Moses. It is just an advancement. It's the next step. And you have to understand that. You have to believe, if you're a true Muslim and a believer, which it means you have to accept the scriptures that came before the new revelation. It is just further teaching. And so to say, when I used to be a Christian, because I'm, still, even though I consider myself Muslim and now Baha'i, still Christian. I mean, I still believe Jesus is the Messiah. So it's kind of a weird thing saying you're this or you're that, because if you believe in one, then you should believe in all, and really the tag or the name on really comes to mean nothing. Just saying you're a believer, that should be suffice for anybody. I mean, instead of dividing by you're this or you're that, you're just a believer. Doesn't matter what faith you're under. Because you believe all. You should believe all. And so I wanted to say those things there and point that out, because you look how they're dividing us in class. You look how they're dividing us in ideology. You look how they're dividing us in race. They during after 9/11, they sort of started dividing us by religion. Then I have no doubt they'll do even more of that. They'll just, whatever it is wins them political power is what they're going to do. And then if they want more world power, I'm sure they'll use all those things to do that also. So wanted to throw all that stuff out there. I'm going to hit the road. My 30-minute break is up. Mandatory 30-minute break. And keep on moving. Wish you all the best out there. God bless. We'll see you on the next one. Adios.